Hello everyone and welcome to another episode of the Race podcast. Today we are joined by Loui Blake and Harrison Hyde, who is yet to arrive. So he'll be here shortly. And together they are building a 53-acre wellness hotel and members club designed to reshape the way we connect to ourselves, to others and to nature. In this episode, we'll be diving into their personal journeys, what it really takes to build a wellness business from the ground up, and how they see the future of wellness and hospitality evolving.
Loui, Harrison, thank you. Thank you so much for joining us today. To start, can you tell us a little bit about yourselves and explain what exactly Long Lane is?
Oof, it's interesting because we were just talking about labels.
Yeah.
Right? So I mean, how do I describe myself without using the labels?
Mm-hmm.
I can talk about myself in the context of Long Lane, but before that, I would describe myself as simply flowing through life, awareness, not trying to attach to any labels or any identity other than showing up and trying to flow. That's the space that I've got to. Okay. What that looks like today is building this wellness focused hotel and members club. So when I think about my role within that, it's more of a custodian or a steward of that space as opposed to I'm the founder, I'm the visionary, I'm the builder, whatever people want to label themselves as. What Long Lane is essentially what we believe will be the evolution of hospitality spaces. So for so long, we've spent so much of our time in nightclubs, in bars, in restaurants, and very often those social experiences, they're so necessary. It's what makes the human experience.
Yeah.
But it comes at the cost of our health.
Yeah.
Right? In order to have that social connection, we're sacrificing our sleep, our health as it relates to drinking alcohol, poor quality foods, circadian rhythm, all those things. So after a very heavy night out, Harrison and I had a few years ago, we sat down the next day and thought about, okay, I don't want to sacrifice my health for my social life anymore. What would a space look like that had health as the foundation and then my social life happen on top of that? And it was a journey of maybe the last 3 years figuring that out to get to the point now where, as you said, we're developing the site, we have the property, it's ongoing, we can dive into that.
Yeah.
But yeah, particularly around identity, as we were talking about, which I think is a really important topic. I think we're always like, oh, tell me about yourself. Like, what do you do? Who are you? We're so quick to say, well, this is my job and therefore that defines me.
Yeah.
This is the role that I play to this person, to that person, to that person. So I'm now trying to look at that rather than over-identifying myself with a certain role as, okay, well, what actually am I? Day to day, I'm just trying to be aware of the experience that I'm having without attaching to a label that exists today and may not exist tomorrow.
Okay.
So Long Lane is set to open next year. So you're building it at the moment. So can you tell us, it took a long time, I guess, for you to create the concept and the idea. What were your steps and kind of where are you at now?
Yeah, sure. So when Harrison and I started talking about it about 3 years ago, I thought he'd lost the plot.
So what's Harrison? Because I know, because he's not here. What's his previous
so
background?
I'll set the scene. Harrison
Would like to tell us a bit more about your background as well.
I'll set the scene, right? So I'm in New York. We had just opened a restaurant there.
Okay.
Harrison and I grew up together in Norfolk, so we knew each other from back home.
That's nice.
We speak intermittently, but he's living in the US. I'm living in London at the time. I go to New York for this restaurant opening. I invite Harrison to the opening. We go out, we have some drinks, The next day he shares with me, look, I'm actually pretty fed up with my job. And on the outside, I'm like, wow, he's living the life. He's working on Wall Street. He's working in finance, making great money. Ticking all the boxes that
success.
Society tells you need to be successful, right? But on the inside, that's not the case. Unfulfilled, unhealthy, in a bit of a crisis moment. And I'd been through something similar a few years before. I'd been working in nightlife. I'd gone really into like the health and well-being space through restaurants initially and then through my own practices. And we started then discussing, well, what could a space look like? I kind of left it, like, a few months went by. He calls me one day and he's like, I quit my job. I've moved back to the UK and I've got an idea that I want to run by you. So, okay. He said, so I've got this house up in Norfolk. It's empty. And I want to turn it into a wellness focused hotel. It's going to just be a hotel to start with. I see it a bit like a Soho farmhouse if it was built for well-being. We've already got the property, there's land, like this is the vision. And I was like, cool, I can kind of see it. Let's like send me over the information and I'll do a basic feasibility. So whenever I open a restaurant, I'll look at things like, how many covers can you do? What's the average spend per head? What would the cost to run it? I'd go through all the kind of the costs, all the potential income streams, and I'd get a picture as to whether the business could work or not in terms of being able to generate a profit, right? And when I looked at the site, it was like a bit too far from London. Norwich was the local city, but probably not progressive enough in respect of this kind of thing to sustain that kind of business. And I was like, I don't know if it will work there. And he's like, well, I think I'm just going to crack on. He put a video out on social, on Instagram, saying, this is my renovation project. I'm going to turn this hotel into a wellness hotel. First video got 5 million views.
Yeah, I think I started following him from that
back
one.
of that, yeah.
I saw that video.
And that to me validated the idea because it wasn't just the first video, it was the second video, the third video. And he started to document this process. What I'd done in the first 2 restaurants I'd opened was exactly the same thing. So when I opened my first restaurant, 2017, I think it was, I documented the build process. And before we opened, I'd built it to like 40,000 followers before we'd even opened. So I had a captured audience that were waiting for me to open rather than trying to market it once we'd opened. So I understood the build in public thing. He'd just done it much better than I had. So we continued talking and we said, well, if that house won't work, clearly there's a demand. Clearly there's a shift happening. This is something we're both really passionate about. Can we go and find a property where it could work and we can continue to develop the concept? So over the next 2 years, we found two different properties that we'd offered on, then it fell through. We kept documenting, kept telling the story, choosing the name, the branding, trying to come up, but bring different consultants in, how to structure the F&B. But you can't really go into too much detail until you've got the site, because the site dictates a lot of what you can do. Like how many restaurants can you have? Depends on how much land you've had. You've got how many rooms can you have? Again, depends on the size of the land, where it is, amenities, everything. And so in November last year, we finally found a site in West Sussex. And we'd been looking at West Sussex because highly affluent area, close proximity to London, great travel links, really underserviced in terms of like gyms, health and wellness spaces.
100%.
Really underserviced, and a beautiful part of the country, most importantly. The South Downs is stunning. And as soon as I went to there, I was like, this is where we should do it. We found this property. And it was on a lease. We were originally wanted to buy, but the only way that this guy would do the deal was the lease. So he said, okay, I need you to pay the deposit in 4 weeks. Otherwise, I'm putting it back. He wasn't on the market. Otherwise, I'm going to put it on the market. Otherwise, I'm going to whatever it will go. So we put out on Instagram. At that point, Harrison had built a big following, and the brand had its own following. We need to raise 4 million to start with for us to do this project.
In what time period?
4 weeks.
No.
Oh, so you needed the 4 million in 4 weeks.
We didn't need all of it up front, but we needed enough that we could have the deposit and we could show that we could afford to do the fit out.
Wow.
And we raised it.
That is incredible.
So how did you do it?
Yeah.
Put the messages out on Instagram. That was our leads came through Instagram. And then at the same time, we quickly pulled the deck together, pulled the numbers together. We'd already had some working numbers when we were doing the feasibility. Pulled the numbers together in a more comprehensive fashion. And then I've raised money before, and I've been in hospitality for a long time. So when I'm getting investors on the call, the great thing is they're already sold on the why, the problem we're solving, the vision. It was more about
because of Instagram.
Because we told the story on Instagram. So people that had been following, it's not like I'm trying to pitch you something fresh. You've already seen this evolve,
really hard.
which is really hard, which is traditionally how most raises
like cold calling,
work, right? Especially a pre-seed raise where you're pre-revenue. You haven't got anything to show other than an idea. It's really difficult to raise money for those kinds of businesses. But because people have followed the journey and they'd got to know us through the storytelling, but they also now saw that we'd taken action, we had a site, it was actually happening.
They could see your vision.
Exactly. So we then converted enough money to pay the deposit, to then get the keys, and then to really start things in motion.
So did you know that sharing through Instagram would be so important? Like, was that part of your business strategy?
Well, yeah, because I feel like rather than building something that I want, like I want this to exist because it's somewhere that I would go. But that doesn't make a business case, because maybe I'm a complete loony. I'm the only person that wants this and cares that much about these things. But when you can validate, especially for a business is pre-revenue, you can validate the idea by demonstrating that you have people that also want to be a consumer in the future before you even open the doors.
And
it
surely
also
from your comments and everything, you can
it means that you're actually building something that people actually want. And a step beyond that is not only are you building something that people want, you're inviting them to participate in the ideation. So that what you build is literally built for them, by them. So and it also then takes the pressure off us, because we don't have to come up with what's in here. Let's just ask them.
So do you do polls and things like that to ask people?
We've done it in a very unofficial way. So this, for example, with the name, we had 3 names in mind. Harrison made a reel. We put it out on Instagram. Which name do you like?
Yeah.
And the comments,
I saw that,
it was incredible, because we hadn't even made the connection between the name and the way that it was interpreted. So Long Lane is the original name of the original building that we were going to develop. It was Long Lane Farm. But the interpretation that people came to by themselves was, it's, you know, your journey to well-being is a long road. The property we have now, it's a really long lane leading up to it. Right? So it kind of worked, but people loved that name, and it wasn't the name that we were going to choose. We were like, okay, that's what people like.
That's mad as well, isn't it? Because we even say with podcast episodes, often the ones that do really well or have really good feedback aren't the ones that we think will do well. So we often assume that we think we know what people want. So that's a really clever way to do that, to put it over to your audience.
Takes the pressure off you, right? And it means that, you know, again, you're building something that people actually want. How many products launch where they haven't tested product market fit? They haven't tested if people actually buy it or not. They invest a ton of money in developing something only to realize no one actually wants it. That happens a lot, right? Whereas now, like we have to use the resource that we have. Social media is essentially a free resource. We were discussing off air as well about how actually the content that performs the best is the content that is most real, most organic, feels most natural. And so we can pick up a phone and we can start saying, hey, we want to build this. What do you guys think? What would you like?
Even if community element.
It's a community element. Even if you're only getting a couple of comments to start with, that's enough to start to formulate an idea.
And as we even said, with regards to AI, it's like you guys are now creating something that can't be replicated. People feel like they're involved and they have that emotional connection.
Well, this is becoming even more important now, right? As we spend more time on screens, we spend more time interacting with AI, the pendulum swings back the other way and it makes real human interaction even more valuable. So I actually think hospitality, that's had a really tough time since COVID, it's actually now going to enter this golden era where it's spaces that we come together in to be human, to look someone in the eye, to feel someone's energy, to sit in circle. Like these are the things that the AI can't replace.
I think you asked for people's views on the logo for Long Lane and like colours and stuff.
You did it again?
You're rebranding,
We're
aren't
now
you?
doing it again. We're rebranding the most. We're about to put something out. We've got 2 directions. We're deciding which to go on. And we're going to put that out for everyone to choose which one they think.
Okay, so as you're creating a wellness hotel, what does wellness look like to you?
So I think about well-being by asking myself, right? I think reflection, introspection is really important. I do the wearables. I'm wearing a Whoop. I have an 8 sleep. Like I get my bloods done. So I look at external metrics, but most importantly, it's that question I ask myself is how do I feel? How do I feel? What's my gut telling me? Building that connection with myself, which is the first pillar of Long Lane. It's that connection to self. Because my bloods may be amazing, my HRV may be through the roof. If I feel terrible, it's kind of redundant, right? So it's that connection to self to understand how I'm actually feeling physically, what condition is my body in. Then from there I can understand what I need. Do I need more rest? Do I need to go out and move? Do I need more sleep? So from the physical respect is, okay, how do I feel? What do I need? Mentally, like where is my head at? What are the thoughts that I'm thinking? What are the things that are coming up for me at the moment? And again, reflecting on that. And then I feel like with journaling, it's probably one of my favorite practices, is the opportunity for me to then, if I'm really up here, I can pour all of that out onto the page, and it's like a letting go, and I can start to work through it. The next step for that is socially. So through this project, I found that actually the reverse has started to happen a little bit, where I've moved to the countryside. I can be a little bit of a hermit and not spend so much time with people. So socially, like, am I spending time in connection to friends, to family, to other people? And then spiritually, like, what does that look like in terms of connection to the world around me? Whether for me, universe, God is nature, nature is that. So am I spending time connecting to that? Am I spending time connecting to something that's greater than me for me to appreciate my insignificance in all of it.
Yeah.
Which, when we step into the ego mind, the identification mind, we can
Mhm.
become very self-important. And actually, you've only got to then go and look at a flower, look at a river, look at whatever, and you realize,
Yeah.
I am all of this. This is me. I'm in connection with this. And
Yeah.
actually, I'm insignificant, but I'm also part of it all. And I think that's a really humbling approach. But all of this comes back to introspection and reflection.
Yeah.
So
Just do the work.
do the work. Well,
Yeah.
you have to be with yourself. And
Yeah.
modern culture, modern society has us hooked on continuously chasing the next thing, the next meeting, the next call, the next TV show I have to watch. We're in a constant state of distraction, very often from the minute we wake up to the minute we go to bed. So that time for reflection, you need to actively seek it out in order to then
Yeah.
have that experience of well-being, coming back to ourselves and asking what we need. For me, actually moving to the countryside, and what I want people to get from this space is having the space and having the ability and having the environment to have that introspection and that reflection to make those connection points.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So are you going to use kind of all parts of those pillars in Long Lane? Like, what's the vision?
So we think of it in terms of connection to self,
Mhm.
to others, to nature, and then to something higher, whatever that means to you.
Okay.
It can be a tree, it can be God, it can be the universe, it can be whatever.
Yeah.
Something beyond us that makes all of this work
Yeah.
that we can't
Mhm.
see, right? That's the faith, the belief in something beyond, bigger than we are, that is beyond us that we can't see.
Yeah.
So how are you going to bring that into Long Lane, do you think?
It's a really good question. So it's a guiding question, it's a guiding set, it's a value set that not only can we make decisions using these questions, but our team can do so as well. Because again, we think of the way we're thinking about well-being has to be implemented in the way that we not only work with people that come to the site, but the people that work on the site, the people that supply things to the site, the people that, the local community, right? It can't just be, we're going to really take care of you as a guest, but actually our staff are working 14-hour shifts and being
Yeah, it's like the whole
spoken to.
energy of the space has to be
Exactly.
aligned. Yeah.
So, but we can't do that all ourselves. This is collaborative. It's way bigger than just us. So those guiding questions is like, when I make a decision as a staff member, as a whatever, I can think in terms of those connection points. Is this helping to foster a deeper connection to other people, to this person, or is it disconnecting me? Like, should I do the meeting on Zoom, or should I take everyone in the forest for a walk? Which one is, then you come back to that question, which one is fostering a deeper sense of connection? That's the priority for the space. So they're more like guiding principles that can help us to solve problems and curate the experience that people will have. And there's so many problems that are coming up at the moment. Not problems, but opportunities for us to figure out how the space should function. So an example would be, we were talking about the other day about phones in the space. For some people, they're working. So I want space for people to work and have that connection to their purpose. But other spaces, it'd be nice to have no phone so people can connect to each other.
Screen-free, yeah.
So using that guiding principle, we had an idea that we were going to have phone lockers where you can go and drop your phone in. It can charge at the same time. You lock, you have your key, and then there's phone-free zones within the space where nobody's on a call, nobody's scrolling. These are rooms for presence, and then these are rooms for work. So again, it's using those guiding questions to come up with the desired outcomes that help us to foster those means of connection.
Amazing.
I'm
So,
literally gone.
oh God, no, what?
Because I feel like I'm not even going off the question.
No. I was going to ask, what, like, are you going to have at the
Yeah, this
hotel?
is what I'm
is-
dying to
like,
know.
I just
What
want
are
to know,
your-
like,
Yeah.
what is the list?
Practically.
What,
I'm
what are
speaking
we
very
coming for?
philosophically
Yeah.
at the moment,
Yeah,
but
I'm like, come on,
I'll give you the
what-
actual, what's actually going to go down.
Yeah.
So I think, like, I'll give you the kind of in terms of amenities,
Yeah.
what we're looking at is, like, my belief is that a lot of the space, what's happening now in the space in hospitality, is that people are looking at well-being, those different pillars. It can be dressed up in a different way, but we're looking at well-being as an add-on. So you have a hotel, and I'm going to add a sauna and some ice baths.
Yeah.
But people are looking to be guided. There's so much misinformation out there, and very often we can actually do more harm than good.
Yeah.
Right? Like, my mum started taking magnesium because she heard everyone was deficient in magnesium. I got her a blood test 2 weeks ago. She's too high in magnesium.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
So, like, it's like it's can actually be more damaging than good. So what we're looking at is, how do we curate experience for the individual in a collective space where we can have the experience together? So what wellness does really well, what biohacking, longevity clinics do really well, is optimizing your individual well-being, health,
Yeah.
whatever. What hospitality does really well is it brings people together in a space but completely neglects health. How can we overlay both? So I think the way that you do that is through taking this personal approach, bringing it into a social space, but it's also through ritual. Ritual is something that's really been lost in our culture, but ritual is how you can give meaning to things that can otherwise be mundane.
Yeah.
So as opposed to simply, there's a natural pool, for example.
So you're going to have a
Well,
natural
there is
pool.
actually a natural
We're
pool.
going to have a natural pool.
Yeah.
This is one
Okay.
example. I'll run you through the amenities in a sec.
Yeah,
but
yeah,
just as an
yeah, yeah, no,
example,
sorry.
here's a natural pool. Every morning at 6 a.m. or when the sun rises, depending on the time of the year, you can gather with everyone, and we're going to sit.
this already.
We're going to
Can we
have.
move it?
We're going to
Yeah,
have. We're going to
literally.
have. We're going to have a cup of warm cacao that's been blessed. You're going to sit. You're going to pour your morning gratitude into the cacao. You're going to sip your cacao. You're going to remove your dry robe, and we're all going to enter the water together at the same time. And we're going to stay in there together. We're going to come out. We're going to do somatic movement together, and then we're all going to go for breakfast. Versus, there's a natural pool. Use it how you want. The meaning that's being developed through that experience and through the ritualistic practice of doing something collectively.
You can opt in and out of these.
You can opt in and out. If you want to do it by yourself, you can.
Okay.
But I want to introduce that as well.
Yeah.
Amazing.
Similarly with the contrast therapies, we have giant sauna, ice baths. We can have curated experiences, which are more of a ritual, where you can do in connection together.
Yeah.
Or you can go and use it yourself, of course. Of course, you're welcome to do that. But
So will you do them kind of as like going to a yoga class? You know, would you do them as you're booking
you can
on to go?
participate every day.
Okay.
But you can. There's also rituals that we'll create for the spaces that you can go and decide to do at any point.
Yeah.
Okay.
Here's some ideas for rituals on how to use these spaces. We're going to do them at these times, but if you want to do them or add your own elements to it, here's other things you can add. Go and do it whenever you want.
Yeah.
So there's an element of guidance. There's structured sessions, rituals that you can join, or you can do them yourself. But again, practically speaking, I'll tell you what's actually in the site. So we've got a natural swimming pool, which for those, it's no chlorine. It's cleaned naturally by the plants that are in there. We have a spa garden, which rather than a spa is something that you...
Is he
Harris
here?
is calling
Is
me. Yeah. Whole fire.
Yeah.
What should I tell him?
He can't come in.
Yo, come in.
Welcome.
How are we doing? Sorry
Good.
about that.
Nice of you to make it.
Yeah.
We're just getting to the good bit.
stopped at Guildford.
Oh,
We're getting to the good bit, don't worry. I'm just going through the amenities.
nice to meet you.
In your defence, it was the train.
It was, yeah. Living in the countryside is tough now.
Country,
Right?
country problems.
Exactly.
So we're talking about amenities. So in terms of amenities, I've already spoke about the natural pool. So we've got natural pool, we've got a spa garden, and the difference between a spa garden and traditional spa is that, again, coming back to the guiding questions around connection, traditionally spa experience is quite individual. You might have a couples massage, but it's pretty individual. And whilst we'll have space for individual treatments, the spa garden is one, it's in nature, so it's that connection back to nature. But two, it's a collective experience. You travel through this spa garden. There's different scrubs, different saunas, different baths. So it's
So it's
really
an
different
outdoor?
herbs. Outdoor, yeah, outdoor.
Wow. Okay.
And you go into it when it's raining. It's next to the natural pool. And the saunas and ice baths that will be there are more as a kind of a relaxation connection piece.
Okay.
We've got sauna and ice baths in the gym, but these are more kind of functional for recovery, right? So
Okay.
different use cases, different intention behind how you use those spaces. You have an organic farm. So we're growing our
Talking my
own kind of
language.
herbs, fruit, vegetables, leafy greens. And the idea behind this is really about reconnecting people back to food, re-establishing this reverence for food, the energy that goes into it. So whilst this is a functional space and is used by the restaurant, it will also be a workshop space. So you can eat this big long table set up in the farm, eating produce from the farm, but also come and participate in workshops, learning how to grow, permaculture, how to cook, composting. So we have this closed loop system on site. So again, that life cycle of food going back into the soil. We then have tennis or paddle, yet to be
Oh,
seen.
God,
You haven't
not
decided.
paddle, please.
We got some planning challenges around that. So it'll be tennis or paddle, one or the other,
Okay.
depending on where we settle on. We have a gym. We have a beautiful gym designed by a company called SPX. So they designed Soho House, White City's gym. They've done some amazing projects. So they work with us on that. We have a restaurant space, which is probably the most beautiful restaurant space I've ever seen.
Really?
And can people come if they're not staying?
Yeah.
Okay.
So the restaurant.
Sorry, I'll
no,
let
it's
you carry
okay. So all of our interior design is designed on the 4 layers of a forest. So we've taken inspiration from the forest, and the roof of the restaurant. Can I say this?
Yeah.
Yes,
Yeah,
please.
Go
It's
on.
like essentially looks like the underbelly of a mushroom.
Stop.
Yeah, we saw the design the other day and we're like,
We were blown away.
we were blown away.
Wow, I
That
want to
was one
see
of
that.
that was one of the hardest spaces for us to visualize what it was going to look like, because
Yeah, who came up with that?
it's
Our interior designer
he's
is there. He's
unbelievable.
unbelievable.
Wow.
How we came about him as well is
So we were sat there one day and we were like, we had an interior designer lined up, and Harrison said to me, I'm not comfortable with this interior designer. I was like, me either. But we need to move forward.
And they're not cheap, are they?
No.
Literally the same, like an hour after he said that to me, I get a DM. This interior designer slid into my DMs and was like, I've been following this project for ages.
need to
I'd
be
really
involved.
love to pitch for it. We got on a call with him. I was like, I need a proposal in literally 24 hours because we need to move forwards. The research that he'd done on the building, the legacy of the building, the history of it. We've got this glass house that was designed by Joseph Paxton, who's a famous architect from 100 plus years ago, did Crystal Palace, glass house at Kew Gardens. He was obsessed with lily pads, right? So he'd done this design based on lily pads, based on him designing the glass house on our building. So it was all this thought that went into it, and it was like, and he understood the well-being aspect of structuring the bedrooms for circadian rhythm, natural materials. So like no materials in the house that could leach toxins, chemicals, everything
we have to
natural in the
move in.
house.
I mean,
Insane.
You're going to share again.
And this is what we wanted, but he was the first person we spoke to that had understood.
I
it.
got
think
it,
that
because a
was
lot of people don't get it, do they?
Yeah.
That was the differentiating factor for
Yeah.
him towards the other designers. You know, they knew it was a wellness concept, the other designers that were pitching, but for them it stretched as far as, you know, organic materials. His lens on it was on a
He
whole
went a
other
step
level.
further.
Yeah.
And it's already quite niche, isn't it? Like,
Yeah.
So yeah,
And builders don't want to do that because they think it's too expensive.
expensive.
It's really,
But this is one of the reasons we think that telling the story in public is so important, because it is costing us more to do this.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And again, coming back to that reflection, that presence of experience, when you sit in the space, if you know the work that's gone into it, and if you know that actually the clay on the walls is improving your health, it's not detracting from it. You're not inhaling like fumes from the paint or
VOCs. And,
exactly right.
Yeah.
So you then by default reinforce that positive health benefit mentally, and you feel better anyway.
Because I saw you mentioned something about that recently on Instagram as well, where you've had people talking about that it's not affordable to everybody.
the
and
accessibility.
Yeah, the accessibility. How are you guys going to kind of deal with that?
Okay,
side of things?
I'm going to come
Yes,
back to that.
sorry.
I'm going to finish
Okay,
the
yeah,
amenities and then come back.
carry it, yeah.
So restaurant space, and the difference with the restaurant space is seasonal.
Okay.
My belief is that we should be eating seasonal food, and that nature's so intelligent that the nutrients that we need at the specific time of the year that food is ready to eat
So the
is
menu will
what we need
change.
at the time of the year. Yes,
Okay.
ongoing.
Okay, no.
Also because we have the farm. Again, we're trying to
Yeah.
introduce this concept of like, we can use in the restaurant what's growing and what's available at that
100%,
time, right? We've become so accustomed to fruit all year round. The amount of sugar that we're eating as a result of that, even when we're eating a natural diet, we're not designed to eat that much sugar in the winter, for example. So, yeah, so the restaurant, and the main point of difference is all of our guests will go through a DNA methylation. All of our members will go through a DNA methylation test when they join.
Okay.
And then we will be able to do an individualized menu for each member based on their genetic profile as determined by their methylation results.
Wow.
So in your members app, when you go into the restaurant, you can see the full menu, but you can also see a menu that's specific for your individual needs. And then the more data we collect on people, the more we can personalize the experience generally across the site, but we're starting with the food. And then beyond that, we've got social spaces, we've got workspaces, we've got library, which is again a bit this like honesty library. Members can give books, they can take books.
Nice.
We're looking at meditation pods in the forest, forest kitchens. We can do events actually surrounded by the forest, foraging workshops, all this good stuff. Some of the rooms will be in the forest as well. So later edition will be cabins in the forest,
Oh, that's a nice
bedrooms in the
idea.
house. And when I say bedrooms, we're talking like biohacked bedrooms. So red light panels built into the wall.
In
Your
every
eight,
room?
eight sleep mattress. All of your mini bar is like collagen shots, vitamin C shot. Like it's
Stop.
right. So this is the idea. And then the room service menu will be like IVs, compression boots, all the other tech that you can add on from a room
Oh,
service
really
I
menu.
good
like that.
idea.
So it's not just there, but the people can add.
You can
okay,
add it
yeah,
on.
nice.
You can add it. So we want to try it. We're not going to do food service in room. encourage people to go and eat together socially in the spaces. And you can also eat in the member spaces or the restaurant.
Okay.
And then we've got, because the site is so big, most of the footprint is in the forest. So 55 acres, 35 to 40 acres of that is woodland. So we've got these amazing trails through the forest. We realised when we walked around with the ecologist that the forest is actually dying. It's been taken over by an invasive species. And when that invasive species takes over, it stops.
Is that the tree? What's it?
Yeah, rhododendron.
Yeah.
It stops native plants, trees from growing. So when you suffer from a lack of biodiversity, you then have less animals coming in. So a big task we have to do is to essentially rewild the forest, which will bring more animals back in. It will bring different smells and different scents and different plants. So creating trails through the forest that people can go in. And then there's little installations like secret sauna. And there's like little installations, little playful things that we can do. But again, we're outsourcing a lot of this to the community because as the build goes on, we'll continue to ask, what do you think about this going here? We've got our structured plan, but beyond that, like, should we put this here? Should we put tree nets in this area? Should we put a trail through here, for example? So that's kind of the amenity piece. And then there's lots of cool spaces. Like we've got a really nice courtyard in the middle where you can imagine you sit out in a summer evening. And we've got a farm shop. We've got a almost like a kitchen bar space with like cooking workshops and juicing workshops and that kind of thing. And then different add-ons, you can add like detox fasts, different events.
I was going to say like retreats and stuff.
Yeah,
I guess
and then like programming, right? So, you know, we'll have a DJ.
Well, we're looking for someone to do raise retreats.
So,
yeah, we can chat. Yeah, but that's the crux of it at the moment. We're due to open May next year.
And I guess it can evolve over time, can't
sure.
it? It's like nothing has to be set in stone. You'll see
I
different things for different spaces.
We're not romantic.
That's been the consensus from the start of this. You know, when we initially, 3 years ago now, we had this idea, and what it is now is completely, it's constantly evolving, isn't it? But the underlying mission stays the same.
Yeah,
it's like this thing of connection. Like we keep coming back to connection, and we keep using it for ourselves. We're like connection, and when it's not to demonize alcohol, because again, the whole space is alcohol free. Some of the best times I've ever had have been whilst drinking. Right? I'm not demonizing alcohol, but the price is too high to pay for me personally now, right? Like the way I feel the next day or days later, or the long-term effect.
We know better now, don't we? It's like there's so much more education around it. So you know, it's not just like written off that that's a normal thing that we should be doing.
But I feel like I still want to socialize.
Yeah.
But if you just this is the point. And if
where are you going to find like-minded people? It's really hard.
Your LinkedIn post summarised it perfectly earlier. It's like, people say sober bars don't work, but those bars have just removed alcohol and not replaced it with anything. We still need a catalyst for connection. You still need something that's or multiple inputs that are going to help us to connect. There's no point just taking away the alcohol and expecting people to become social butterflies, because it doesn't work like that.
But the thing is with you guys, it's like, you know that anybody who's coming is, they are like-minded, you know what I mean? So you're going to have that connection already, I suppose.
This is the thing with a members club. It's a members space, right? I'll come to your question about the cost thing. It's a members space. What members clubs were initially, and what many of them still are, in fairness, you would go somewhere where you know that everyone there has a shared belief or a shared vision of the world, right? We're all here, but we're members of this place because we believe in what it stands for, and therefore we have a lot of similar kind of views on the world, and they're my people. They're people I want to hang out with. So you know when you come, it's going to be people are all there because their core belief is that their health and their well-being is their primary, is the most important thing in their lives. I want to be around people that see the world like that, right?
But it's hard to find, isn't it? Apart from social media, but how do you meet? You're not going to be like, oh, hey, do you know what I mean?
Well, we had a conversation off air, and I said to you, I've just realised these cans have plastic lining on the inside. Yeah. When you're that person, people are, I don't want to hang out with them. Too much. Right, I'm only going to drink my structured reverse osmosis water from this metal bottle that's been cleaned with X, Y, and Z. Yeah. Like, it's a problem. Yeah. So we want to remove the friction for that. All that is standard in our space. Yeah. You don't have to worry about it. You don't have to think about it. We're using cast iron pans. We're not cooking with seed oils. Like, it's just, it's standard. Amazing. You feel like an idiot asking for that in a day-to-day restaurant.
Yeah, right? 100%. Yeah.
I think socially, all of us should raise the standards of what we expect from spaces. Yeah. Because spaces, if they're being asked 10 times in a day, I've just been asked again if our coffee is mold-free and toxin-free. Maybe we should do something about that. Yeah. But that comes from us as consumers expecting something more.
And asking for it.
Asking for it, right?
Okay.
Price point.
Yeah.
I think a lot of people shy away from having this conversation because it's a difficult one, right?
Yeah.
Ultimately, all innovation comes from the private sector.
Yeah.
Yeah, innovation comes from people having ideas, trying to solve problems, entrepreneurs, and then other companies starting and then competing and then coming up with something that's better and better and better for cheaper and cheaper and cheaper. It's democratized over time. So my hope is that we raise the expectation that people have from hospitality spaces, should put their health first, should be trusted to source sustainable, natural, organic, healthy food. The more demand on those foods, the cheaper they become by default. So I think what we can do, what we can affect, is a paradigm shift, a philosophy shift around what's expected, what's culturally acceptable, and push this forward in terms of health being the new luxury, right? It should be aspirational. It should be something that we should all aspire to have. As a business, we will service a certain price point naturally. That being said, we've even been challenged by investors on our numbers, like, you can charge way more than that. And we're like, yeah, but we don't need to. This is the margin that we need to hit.
Yeah.
If we hit that margin, we're generating enough profit to grow. I don't need to. I could maybe charge X percentage more, but we don't need to. So
it's like, how exclusive do you want to be?
We feel like we are at an affordable price point for the market that we are we are targeting. We're not Lanzerhof. We're not like these like super elite places, but we're also not Wetherspoons. Like we feel like we're at a reasonable place. That being said, within that, we also feel like we have a social and community responsibility. So what can we do for people that can't afford to come here? Can we run events? Can we run days? Can we run community initiatives? Can we give away a ton of information? For example, while we're building, we're researching on different water sources. We're researching on how we can help people down-regulate before sleep. So a lot of these things and the best biohacks, as you know, are free. So if we can help to share information that people can input at home, even if they can never be a customer of ours, I feel like that's, again, trying to do something. But putting over a lens of realism for a second, like, it is a business, it is a commercial entity, and it has to function in the market that it plays in, which is a capitalist economy. Like we have to make money to be able to service the business and do what we do.
So it's going to be a members club.
Yeah.
So can other people who aren't members come and stay?
Yeah, correct.
They can. And can they visit for the day? Like, how will you do
certain areas you're able to visit, the restaurant, the farm, and some of the events without being a member or staying at the hotel.
So that's quite nice.
Yeah, exactly. It gives people the opportunity to, come see the site firsthand and potentially become a member.
Order the food and,
Order
they
the
have
food
to go for dinner or something.
Yeah.
Exactly. The hotel, you don't have to be a member to book.
Okay.
Anyone can come stay, and essentially, when you have booked throughout that stay, you essentially have all the rights and access as what a member does as well. So you become a member for the weekend, for example. And then there's obviously the membership element, where there'll be 3 tiers. A country club element, where it's like a limited visits per year, which maybe will target someone that potentially lives in London and wants to use the space a couple of times a month, maybe for work, maybe just on the weekend. And then we'll have a middle tier membership, which is probably primarily for locals in the area that will use the space similar to what they'll use maybe a David Lloyd's, in the gym, but also outside of that, hanging out with friends, working, etc., etc. And then the top tier membership will be your more longevity element membership with your, gut barrier tests, your blood tests biannually, a functional doctor on hand as well.
Right. Okay.
So it's the all access membership plus longevity. So all of your and then we integrate all of that. So like VO2 max, all of the testing, bring that all together. So you've got your everyday access plus your longevity plan on top.
I love that. That's really, really cool.
It's amazing. I just want to move in.
I know. I'm literally, I was just saying, I'm 15 minutes away from you guys now, so I cannot wait. Yeah, I literally just moved house, and I was telling my husband last night, I was like, oh yeah, we're interviewing these 2 guys tomorrow. And he was like, that's literally like 10, 15 minutes from us. And I was like, oh my God.
Basically building what we wish existed.
Yeah, exactly. I think it's so
Let's
cool.
talk about the area as well. You're familiar with it. It's amazing around there, isn't it?
Honestly, I'm literally...
I couldn't believe I'd never been down there before.
It's so beautiful,
It seems quite under-travelled though. I don't know. I'd never been to
It is, isn't it, in comparison to, say, the Cotswolds?
Exactly.
Yeah, exactly. Or even East Sussex, I feel like, is a little bit more... But West Sussex, I think, is quite untouched at the moment. And yet it's still so accessible to everywhere as well. Yeah. So well done. Very excited.
So talking about like your business model? Because it sounds like you kind of had this idea, you needed to raise all this money in a short amount of time. Was it kind of like luck, or did you know that you were going to be able to do it? You know, like in terms of bringing investors on board, like how do you manage to scale manage something this
just manifested this shit.
Yeah. Like, did you have a business plan?
Or
has it, like, I bet it's changed over time? Like, I just want to know how you've gone from that point to this point.
From the seed to it's actually here.
For context, 3 years ago, I was working in New York on Wall Street. Loui was obviously in London. He came out to...
I'm talking this.
Yeah, we
really?
know your background.
You know I've done the story,
okay.
right?
You've done the story.
I've done the story.
So it took a while you thought about this idea.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
3 years ago, we were working on it. We had a site in Norfolk.
But so
fell through.
With this, did you know that you were going to need investment, or was this something that you guys were going to be able to do yourselves?
Well, like transparently, this initially, when we got the keys to this property, when we were trying to raise the money to go forward with this property, we'd mapped out what we expected it to cost to develop this property. So we were raising 4.2 million because the first surveys that we'd had done, we thought it was going to be a turnkey operation, meaning that the great thing about this house was a lot of the work structurally was already done. We were just going in and like extending one building, doing all the interiors, and then having some pre-opening runway to get things open, make hires and operate whilst the business got moving. So we worked out we needed about 4.2 million. We went out to get that 4.2 million. Once we had the keys, we could do more invasive reporting, right? So we could start to like do acoustics tests. Actually, when you sleep in this bedroom, you can hear everything that goes on downstairs. You can't sell a room for £400 a night if you can hear everything downstairs.
Yeah.
Now we need to pull the flooring up. Oh, now we're pulling the flooring up. Maybe we should do underfloor heating because long term that will save us money on our heating bill. So you have something called a QS, like quantity surveyor, who will continually keep track of what your expenditure is likely to be. By the third QS meeting, he's like, guys, this is going to cost like 4.8 to build.
Yeah.
You're only raising 4.2. And we were like, damn, like we
need to get more money.
But at that point we had the momentum, right? And I think one of the things that we consciously decided to do, which isn't the done thing, is we documented our raise.
Yeah.
So continue on LinkedIn and social.
You've been really open.
We're meeting investors, we're pitching this is our deck, this is the feedback that we had. And the amazing thing was the more meetings that we had with investors, the more we learned about gaps that we maybe had in our pitch or our project, and we kept refining the business plan and the numbers based on the feedback we got, because a lot of these investors, they invest in all different businesses. They were able to, and a lot of them were operators themselves. So that it was actually really helpful.
Yeah.
We, far from taking it personally, we're like, give us more, like tear us apart, like help us. And when we redid the numbers again, we obviously built in contingency. So, you know, what if the build time takes 4 months longer? What if we don't hit the targets we've set in the first 6 months? So all of these contingencies were thought about. And we then decided, okay, we need to raise 6 million, which is just over 2 more than we initially needed to raise. By that point, we already had traction. As soon as you get that first check in, you've got momentum.
Yeah.
Okay.
Nobody wants to be the first check.
Yeah.
Investors, they don't want to be the first money in, right? The other thing was, because as soon as we signed the lease, the clock's ticking for us to open. We needed to bring capital in up front to start the build. So somebody can put 200K in, and that's our first 200K. We need to use that money straight away.
Yeah.
So the risk for them is that they've done a subscription agreement, which means they've signed up to be in, they've transferred the money. But if we then don't raise the money,
The rest of it.
so obviously then the pressure is on us to then go and raise the money. So what we had to do is before we took any money, be confident that we at least had a pipeline where we thought we could get the money we needed to do the project in it to some extent, which we did. Get that money brought in, get that money signed up, and then build out the development schedule with a cash flow forecast to know how much we needed and when. So there's a kind of there's a strategy to it, but there's also a lot of faith and a lot of positive reinforcement day to day to each other. It's like, got 3 calls today, like positive, like state, because you're getting rejected.
So many
You're
people
getting
have a wait
rejected
list. How's it
continuously.
going to work? How's it going to work for people to actually sign up? When are you going to kind of?
So
or are you going to have like a wait list?
Yeah, we'll have. So it starts with. It's interesting because obviously Louis worked in restaurants before, and marketing like a public place is quite different to marketing a members club. You know, it's kind of the opposite. It's anti-marketing.
True. That's a good point.
So you start with like a members committee,
right.
People within the area that have good connections. Then they go out and build like a founders membership base, people that, you know, your first members. And then from that, we'll then go out to the public and take applications in. But it's very different to marketing a public venue.
Yeah, because I suppose your criteria for becoming a member is very different to other, you know, memberships that we all know about that were exclusive and now not so exclusive anymore. You know,
and you have to.
What is the criteria
what we've
going to
learned
be?
As well is
you
that
know?
you need to have balance in these places, as with any community space.
Yeah.
It can't be 80% male over the age of 50, for example.
Yeah.
Right. So you need to have a balance of gender, age,
Yeah.
background. It has to be a balanced community, but then there's also some consistencies, interest in health and well-being, healthy lifestyle. You know, these are obviously important. So it's been a real learning experience for us, because I've never operated a members club before.
No.
So we're approaching, other than the restaurant portion of this and the fundraising portion,
it's all new.
it's all brand new for me, brand new for Harrison. So what we've done is like, we worked out, hang on a minute, if we have the resource, we just need to go and find the people that are experts at this. Then we can pay them to essentially run those parts. And we almost like sit back and just hold the vision. And now we've got this amazing team of people who are way better than us at pretty much everything within the business. And we get to all work together to make it happen. So it relieves a lot of the stress and the pressure from us, rather than us trying to figure it out.
You're not doing everything yourself, you're outsourcing.
Or for the first time, we're bringing people in that care about it in the same way that we do.
And share
Two, they have the relevant experience to make it happen.
There's a level of humility that's needed for that to happen, though, because it was the first pre-opening Zoom call. We've got like 15 consultants there. Everyone is a lot more well-versed than me and Loui in their respective fields. And there's your ego kicks in, and, you know, you're
Maybe
like, I need to
something.
say something here. Like, I need to, you know, but from that, you know, after we had the conversation, we kind of learned that, you know, our job is not to be the loudest in the room. It's just to get the right people together and ensure that they execute.
Make the magic happen.
Yeah. We have to be explicit on what's important.
Yeah.
So for us, it's like, it has to be, again, we talk about connection to self. Anything that is disruptive to connection to self from a health perspective is a no-go.
Yeah.
So if someone comes on the call and says, not that they have, but actually if we used this paint, it will be cheaper than using the natural clay that you want.
Like, no, thank you.
You ain't.
No.
Yeah.
And now at this point, they know what the concept and the vision is. So it's not even a suggestion.
Yeah.
Right. So that's our role, is to really hold that vision of what it has to be, and then people can work within that.
So how stressful has this been?
Like,
has it?
Well,
I feel like your responses are different. You're laughing.
I can't imagine actually how intense some of these
We've
conversations
started businesses.
we've done,
and we found it very stressful. We've opened, but nothing of this scale.
So that's
we
the
live
thing.
together as well, right? Like, we live together.
Oh, you do now?
24/7 on.
Well, you have to. You've got so much.
It's 24/7. Like,
Yeah.
I think we got to the other night. It was a Friday night, and it was like 11:40 p.m. And I'm normally in bed by 9, but we had to get something done. And we're sat in the kitchen, and and we just started laughing. We're like, I said to Harrison, I was like, can we even enjoy this bit?
Well,
and
this
the
is the thing,
reinforcement that
isn't
we
it?
keep having to each other, which is really helpful, is like, anytime something stressful or bad happens, like we had an investor pull out, for example, £1 million check. It was basically a done deal. He'd verbally said it, like he'd been to the site, loved it. The guy just sends us a random email. It's like, sorry, my circumstance changed. I can't do it. And we'd said no to someone else, and we sat there and we just burst out laughing. We're like, this is part of it. Like, can we enjoy this? And the constant question we've had is, can we enjoy this bit? Can we enjoy this bit? Can we enjoy this bit? So having that, like, because there's days where I'm stressed and he's not. There's days where he's stressed and I'm not.
Yeah, it's like you're taking it in turns.
It's almost like the project is also not just Long Lane, it's us.
Yeah.
So the growth that we're getting through this, of being able to operate in what would be a stressful environment and take care of our own health and well-being in order to show up for the business in the way that we can be good custodians of the business, is really important. And so, like, we created a home space together where that's reinforced. The way that we live, the way that we, you know, morning, evening, you know, it's like, it's always on, but we're creating the environment so that we can...
It's sustainable.
Exactly.
And the thing is, I know from experience with us, is that sometimes I look back and I think, did I enjoy the journey enough? Because you often think when it's open, when we get to that point, we'll be happy, it will be amazing when that happens. But actually, upon reflection, I find it's actually the most fun with the making it and the creative element and everything, you know. So it's really, you know, you do have to remember that, but it's easier said than done, isn't it, as well?
When you're in it.
Yeah, it's so hard. But actually, when you look back, you're like, that was actually really fun.
And it's a lot of responsibility. That's the thing, isn't it? It's like, and especially for you guys now with investors, that must feel...
We don't take that lightly, right? Someone's putting their hard-earned money into the project and they're trusting us with it. So
it's huge.
That's why we're living there. Like we're giving it everything because they've allowed us to do this. They're part of it with us. So it is a responsibility.
So what personal mindset shifts have you guys had to make? Have you?
Well, I think you should talk about your shift, just lifestyle-wise, generally, because it's been amazing to see, actually. Harrison's had like a complete
transformation.
Yeah, so me and Loui are kind of on different stages of our wellness journey, I'd say, which is good from a business perspective because, you know,
you'll get that though coming as well, so you need to cater to both, you know.
Yeah, so, you know, Louis's like a full-blown...
He's rolling his eyes when I'm talking about structured water.
But I'm warming to it. And I'm, you know, obviously I don't drink, and I'm dabbling my toes into like organic food and whatnot. But I've always been into my health and fitness. But through Louis's guidance and obviously building this project and learning more about it, I've worked with a functional doctor, got my tests done, and the change has been unbelievable. My baseline was so low before. So like when I'd eat rubbish food, which was quite a lot, you know, McDonald's, you know, Five Guys milkshake was like my real guilty pleasure. I didn't even notice the difference. You know, people would say when they eat that food, they feel rubbish. I just never even noticed the difference.
It's your normal, isn't it? That's what, yeah.
Now that baseline has been risen so high.
It's annoying, isn't it? Because you can't have it now.
I'm like, oh my God, how did I ever eat that? So yeah, the lifestyle changes via Loui and via building this project have been profound, which, you know, is motivating me more to build out this project, to see that happen with other people and their lifestyle changes as they, you know, meet people from the club and come to the site.
And all learn from each other. It's like, even, you know, you've both said things during this conversation. I was like, oh, I hadn't thought of that. Yeah. And it's like, that's what's so nice when you're all coming from a like-minded, you know, we're all trying to better ourselves and better the world and better each other. And it's like, that's so nice that you're creating this shared vision and space. You know?
So you're going to have an educational element to this as well.
I think it has to be woven.
Like woven in somehow.
I was terrible at school because I didn't like the structure. I didn't like sitting down, someone telling me what to do. I think to your point, that like kind of like decentralized learning where you're learning from the other people in the space. But I think through subtly having, you know, suggested rituals in the spaces and then benefits connected to them. I also think like in a restaurant, for example, I've always thought, well, why do I not get some information on the benefits of certain foods and combinations? And if I want to make this at home, there should be an option for me to learn it at home. I also I supplement digestive enzymes when I eat. Why is there not a supplement menu on the restaurant menu so that I can supplement? So what we want to do is when you go into the restaurant, you have your menu, you have your and then you have a supplement menu. So if you want to order digestive enzymes and omega-3s on the side of your lunch, you can do that. And then with the lunch, if you scan, you can then see where the sourcing of all the food is. These are from our farm. This is from this farm. This is from this farm. This is the benefit of having these two foods in combination. And if you want to make it at home, here's how you make it. Then you empower people to, because a lot of the poor choices we make are done when it's like 8 p.m. on a Friday and you're at home and you reach in the fridge and like, oh, that'll do. Right? But that's one thing. But another thing is people just don't have the knowledge.
Yeah, it's the lack of understanding.
So if you know,
we always assume that people do have the same level of knowledge and they don't.
Exactly. So I think it's about education being woven into the overall concept. And so when you're doing something, you're understanding why you're doing it. And I think this is one of the things I've seen with the diagnostics. When people get blood tests, they'll buy like an online one, they get a simple interpretation. A lot of people don't then understand how to take that information and use it day to day. So with our membership piece, the idea is that you have your interpretation, but it's ongoing. So one of the pieces of tech, I can talk about the digital twin, right?
Yeah.
Yes, yeah. Okay, so one of our...
If not, just let us know.
No, it's fine, we can talk about it. So one of my frustrations has been, I've got Whoop data. I've got data from one lab for my bloods. I've got data from another lab for this. I've got a VO2 max I did in the gym. I've got some other data from a test I did here. I'm looking at it all, all differently. How do I bring it together? So we've got within our members app, software that will amalgamate all the different data points and give you day-to-day through AI, day-to-day actions that you can take based on all the different inputs.
Wow,
and you can update it
really
ongoing,
good.
right?
Yeah.
Because it's one thing to know what your results are, but it's another thing to learn how to use your results.
Yeah.
Day
And be
to day.
guided.
Be guided, right? So education's super
Love
important.
that,
I think especially around food.
Yeah.
Especially around food.
Will it be called Long Lane Farm? Like the farm shop
Yeah,
bit,
farm at
like
Long
where
Lane
you
with-
Will people be able to buy the produce? Or
Yeah,
will you have
exactly.
enough? Okay.
that'd
Yeah,
be
people
really
be able
good.
to buy the produce.
Can you get some cows there, everyone?
I was going to say get some bees, make your
Yeah,
own bees.
We're doing that as well. We've got bees coming as well.
Okay,
We've got bees
well,
coming as well.
yeah, okay.
We've got bees coming.
We're going to
coming
have
as
to
well.
do a frigging quick fire in a minute, aren't we? I didn't
I
realise the
know,
time.
we're going to have to. Oh, yeah, okay.
I'm literally loving this conversation. Do you know what I love as well is that you'd go away for a weekend and you'd leave feeling better than when you arrived. And that
That's
is
the
so rare,
Yeah.
isn't it? When you
It
go
is.
away with friends for a weekend or a couple.
It's usually a guilty pleasure, isn't it?
Yeah.
You know?
I noticed that I was living in Dubai before.
Mm-hmm.
When I moved to West Sussex and I started waking up in the morning and the first thing I did was going for a walk in the forest, my HRV is skyrocketed. Like my baseline HRV is skyrocketed compared to living in a city.
Wow.
So we don't even need to do a lot. Like you literally come to the countryside, and even if you don't want to participate in any of the stuff we've got going on, just having that perfect night's sleep in an environment that's created for a perfect night's sleep, going for walks in the forest, even that is going to have a positive benefit. Because although biohacking, great, but nature has the best biohacks. Going for a walk in the forest, getting in cold water, getting in a hot room, spending time with like-minded people, sharing food together. These are the best things that you can do. Everything else is just an add-on.
Like breathing, movement, light. All these things are free, and it's
correct.
But the fact
and
that
that comes back to your point about the cost thing.
Yeah.
So you can do all of this for free at home, most of it.
Yeah. So true. So true.
Okay.
Right, should we jump to? So we're going to have to wrap it up in a minute. We'll jump to some quick fire.
Okay.
Okay.
What's your favourite wellness habit or trend that you love and one that you think is overhyped? So like your favourite one, and then...
Cold plunge is my favourite.
Is it?
Yeah. One that is overhyped. Red light glasses at night.
Oh, really?
Why do you think that?
I did it for so long.
Yeah.
You
so
didn't notice
long.
anything.
But maybe
and
it just
it didn't
wasn't a very
change
good brand.
Maybe.
You
Yeah,
know,
it
there
wasn't.
are
It
crap
wasn't.
ones out there,
It wasn't. It was.
Amazon,
It was an
£10
Amazon
ones.
one.
Yeah.
Yeah, maybe I
Were
need to
they
give it a try
even?
with some good ones.
You just had some orange lens plastic.
I was putting them on. I could barely see when I had them on, and I went through that for months. No change in my sleep
Okay.
or my
Fair.
week data.
No, I like it.
Come back to us when you got
Yeah.
some good
Yeah,
ones.
you're
I think
right.
Dave Asprey does some good ones.
Yeah.
Louis,
I think diagnostics.
is your
favourite.
favourite?
Yeah, because
Yeah.
I think for most people, what changed my life the most was getting my bloods and my gut test done and seeing that I had leaky gut
Yeah.
from overtraining. Actually, from over, I thought I was the healthiest I've ever been.
Yeah.
I had leaky gut from overtraining, and my bloods were all over the place. And correcting that has made the biggest single impact. And
I
think
feel
for
like
many,
that's the future.
for
isn't
many
it?
people, it's
Yeah.
like guesswork. You see a cool supplement online, it's trending, I order it, and I've got no idea what's going on internally.
Yeah.
I think diagnostics is probably the biggest one. And then, oh God,
Do you want to call anything out?
Yeah.
You don't have to. You don't have to.
You don't.
okay, I am going to call something out.
Go on.
Okay.
Tonga Ali.
What's Tonga Ali?
Tonga Ali is a supplement that a lot of people are taking because it is a natural testosterone booster. But it has there's an adverse effect which isn't documented, which is an impact on liver if it's taken over a sustained period of time.
Okay.
People rave about it. It's all on TikTok shop,
that the
whatever, like
new-
test
Yeah.
booster,
Okay.
test booster. Rather than taking a testosterone herbal booster, maybe address the reasons why testosterone is low in the first
Yes.
place. Right. So
Yeah.
I think like looking for a solution to add on as opposed
Again,
to
your
actually
diagnostics.
diagnostics.
Yeah.
Again, coming back to it. So yeah.
Okay. No, I like
True.
Sorry for any brand that has Tonga Ali.
Yeah.
What has surprised you the most about building Long Lane?
The mind shift needed to operate on a day-to-day.
Yeah.
Coming from a finance background and Wall Street being quite chaotic, I thought I'd be able to deal with it a lot better.
Okay.
But the mindset shift that I needed to deal with the stresses on a day-to-day surprised me the most about building a business in general.
Okay. Yeah. Interesting.
I think I've raised for a few businesses before, and it's been such a slog. Not to say this
okay.
before it's been such a slog.
Okay.
And traditional way of raising money, of contacting investors, pitching, versus the most surprising thing is how receptive people have been to this. And we've taken small checks from 10k all the way up to £1 million.
Okay.
And people that have believed in it so much that I've got a DM on Instagram, hey, I'd love to invest. Jump on a quick call, and they've wired the money the next day.
Wow.
And then the support that comes from that, like, can I do anything for you? Can I help? It's like, it's amazing.
I think your story is really inspiring and really clever, because it's almost like a new way that people are starting to
I feel like
jump
people are
into
copying.
business.
I've seen other people copy the same
like
model,
the way
not as in
that
the model, but as in showing the business in the same way you've done. You know, showing all the stages and stuff. I think it's really clever.
Yeah.
But it is inspiring.
It allows you, like, if you're not gonna, like, for us, it doesn't feel like a risk, but like, I'm 35, single, no kids.
Yeah.
Like, I near enough ended a relationship to move back and build this, right? Like, I've sacked off any other security, anything else I've done, moved in. Harrison moved back to the UK, did 3 years not getting paid to basically, you know, live on site in a building site, working 7 days a week. It's a lot of sacrifice. Yeah, I'm blessed. I'm not complaining at all. I'm just saying, like, there's a
lot of people would not be able to pay.
Yeah,
but if you
100%.
don't want to pay that price and you still want to be a business partner and be involved, you can put an amount of money in and it still be partly your business and do it with us. So it's almost like giving people the option where maybe they've got kids, they've got a mortgage. We have the luxury somewhat of not having those responsibilities. So we can do this. But if you can't, you can still participate, you can still join us and build it and own part of it, but with us, like, without having to do the come and live on site with us. Which is quite fun, to be fair. One of our investors has literally moved in and lived with us the whole time.
Stop.
Yeah.
Oh, that's so cool.
Yeah.
The lifestyle change for him has been crazy. We've had a few people there throughout when we were on site, like a couple of investors.
Come and stay, come live with us for a couple of weeks.
The interior designers came and stayed for a while.
Yeah.
Well, I guess then you really get a feel for the space, don't you?
Exactly.
It's kind of like how it's going to work.
Exactly.
Probably quite important.
So excited.
Okay, coffee or matcha? Or something else?
Or neither.
That's a tough one for me because neither.
Okay.
Oh, really?
Yeah. What do you drink? Like in the morning, like, do you have
just water? I sound
water.
so boring, but
no, but that's good.
Just water, not for health reasons or nothing. I've just never liked the taste of coffee.
No, but that's good though.
I love
Yeah,
it.
espresso martinis back in the day, maybe. Like, but
Red Bull. No, I'm joking.
Yeah, but no.
I swear by Shilajit.
Okay, do you?
Shilajit in hot water. Yeah. I mean, I do like a
Which
coffee.
one? What brand?
Real health store, Dean.
Okay.
Dean, I trust Dean with his sourcing, so I use his.
Okay. Is it Real Health Store on Instagram?
Yeah, Real Health Store. Yeah. I use his one. I do like coffee, and I do like matcha.
So, a book that has changed your perspective or impacted your life the most?
I'm gonna say Atomic Habits, and it's not because it's the most advanced personal development book, but because it was the first one that I read, and it was an easy read, and it allowed me
It's actionable, isn't it? It's quite practical,
and it then started that journey. It was the catalyst, right? Because it was easy to digest. You could see the benefits from it, right after reading it. So yeah.
Can I have two?
Yeah.
Okay. Book that I read most days, or I come back to a lot, is Marcus Aurelius Meditations.
Okay.
Like, just as a day to just check in, like, just the mindset, amazing. The book that's had the biggest impact on my life, though, is a book called The Master Key System. Okay. It's written by an author called Charles Hannell in like 1914, something that's around that date. And I read it when I was living in Mexico when I was like 19 or 20. And it's 24, I believe it's 24 chapters. And each chapter is written in a series of sentences. And they're almost like affirmations. And at the end of each chapter, there's a task you have to go away and do for a week and then come back to it. And the whole book is designed to help you visualize and create a reality that you want to bring about. But it was written over 100 years ago, so the language is quite challenging in some points. But I followed it, and over the next period of time, everything that I'd written down that I wanted to create happened.
Love that.
And so even now I come back to it quite a lot, because it gives you like, we don't think about training our imagination, but it's like training your imagination. So it goes through these sentences and you follow it. And then the task may be like, sit quietly in a chair, close your eyes, imagine a circle, cut the circle in half, turn the circle, separate this, and it guides you through these different visualization practices. But towards the end of it, your power of belief and it's just like first principles about visualization. I don't like using the word, what's the word? Law of attraction.
Okay.
But it's practical, like it's really practical. And I saw it work for me. Actually, I spoke to, Dr. Tara Schwartz.
Yeah.
I spoke to her about this.
She's on it. Like, yeah.
Oh, okay.
She's amazing.
Yeah.
I spoke to her about it and she's like, I read that book and did exactly the same thing. And that's how I wrote my book. That's how I did this. Yeah. So there's a few people that know about, but master key system, that's a must.
Okay.
It's a must, yeah.
Add it to the list.
Yeah. 100%. So guys, where can people find you? Obviously Long Lane. What are your Instagrams?
At Join Long Lane.
Yeah.
That's the main one. We've actually been, not like us, but we've been holding off on posting anything on there because like for our pages.
I saw there's only one post, isn't there, on the actual Long Lane
one?
one? And that's one like
the thing is,
a while ago.
Yeah. For our pages, we can get away with it being raw and like not thought about how it shows up on the brand, but for the brand page, because it's quite
I think that makes sense.
an elevated experience. We wanted to wait till we can,
more polished, more curated, more meaningful, more intention behind it.
Exactly.
Okay, I understand.
But we're going to keep doing our stuff on our pages. And
what are your Instagrams?
I'm at Harrison Hyde.
I'm at Loui_Blake.
Nice.
And YouTube, the YouTube is about to go live on Sunday, right?
Our very own Clarkson's Farm.
Yeah, I love that. I
Yeah.
told you
I'm
about it.
excited.
I was like, it's such a good idea.
There was
I think it's
really good episodes.
It's like a documentary, isn't it?
Yeah,
I
we
love
did the
it,
parish
yeah.
council meeting, and
did you?
It's good episodes. Yeah.
Oh,
Okay, we'll look forward to it.
Yeah.
Looking for a new series.
Yeah.
First one on Sunday, so we'll share it. Yeah.
Amazing.
guys.
Yeah, thank you so much.
Thanks for having us.
Is
Is there anything else you want to add before we wrap it up?
No.
You're good?
It went really quick.
good.
Thank
Yeah,
you
it
for
did go
joining
really
us.
quick. Loved it. Thank you, guys.
Thanks, guys.
Bye.